Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Um, I am okay. There we go. I was working to get Instagram live as well, so that I can go live on both in both places. But welcome back. Um, I have one question that I want to ask you. Have you ever wondered what it would what you would need to do in order to prepare for your client gifting? Well, I got you covered today because that's what we're going to talk about. But before we get into all that, let me introduce myself for those who are new around here. My name is Amy. I am a gift strategist, and I am here to help you enhance your client's experience without the stress and the overwhelm. And while I'm at it, let me just go ahead and ask, do me a favor. Since you're here, go ahead. If you have not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Follow my page if you are on Instagram. And, if you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button and ring that bell. Like the video in both places so that, you will know when I upload again or when I am live again. So let's get into our topic for today, and that is I'm going to talk about 3 steps to prepare for client gifting. Now, the first step is setting the foundation for your client gifting. You want to set a foundation, and when I was just before I came on, the analogy of building a house popped into my mind, right? So when you're building a house, you put down the foundation first, right? And then you frame it up, and then you put in your system. So we're going to talk about gifting, preparing for gifting in that way. So the first step in preparing for your client gifting is setting the foundation for it. Now, this is where you will make those foundational decisions for your gifting. You will need to set your objectives for the gifting. You want to determine the number of clients that you serve, in which you may already have this number, but you're going to also assess your packages and services. And you're going to review your client's journey, your client's existing journey with you, and see where gifting is the most appropriate. So these are some things that are foundational to the gifting that you want to make some decisions on, um, because they will serve as a baseline for the gifting that you will put in place, right? So this is the foundation. We're going to lay a good foundation for your gifting. Now, I don't want you to stress over the decisions that you have to make because, um, you know, as you go through the planning process, then you will, um, as you go through the planning process, uh, and the and the execution of the gifting, right? You'll see what works and what doesn't work. So expect your answers to change. Expect what you decided to change as your business and service evolves, right? Or as you get to um, actually give the gifts or create the gifts and give the gifts. You can expect that some things will change, so that because you want to improve it as time go along. Now, the second step is to create a budget. I know, nobody likes to create a budget. Actually, I do like to create a budget. I actually majored I double majored, so I majored in accounting. So I actually do like to create a budget. Um, it is one of those things. It's satisfying to me to know on paper what I am doing with my money, how I'm going to spend it. But that's neither here nor there, because we're not talking about me creating a budget. We're talking about you creating a budget for your gifting. Um, so now that you've made those foundational decisions about your client gifting, it's time to determine how you're going to pay for these gifts that you have that you're planning to give, right? So you will want to determine a budget for each gift. Now, remember, so when I say for each gift, I remember I said you want to assess your packages and services to determine where it's most appropriate to give a gift. And so for each um, place that you in your package or service that you want to give a gift, you will want to you want to determine a budget for that gift that you're giving, because you may not have the same type gift at each point in your service. You may have one gift, you may have multiple gifts. I won't be able to tell you that. Is that's something that you will need to determine based on your existing client experience with you, and how your packages and services are currently structured, right? Then you will want a overall gifting budget. You want to create an overall gifting budget to accomplish the gifting that you choose. And so this will incorporate, so if you're going to gift your client, say, 3 times during their journey with you, budget for the gifting overall. So that you can kind of get a feel for how much of the you want to get a feel for how much um, of the revenue that you receive from your client that you're going to put toward budgeting. I'm sorry, toward gifting. So you'll want to create an overall budget, and then you want to talk. You want to think about what needs to change to make for gifting. You know, what needs to change in your packages or services. How will gifting impact that, right? How will gifting impact your pricing? So now that you have a budget, you want to determine how gifting will impact the pricing of your packages and services, or if you need to make some other adjustments. Hi Raquel, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining in. So we're just talking about the 3 steps to prepare for client gifting. So we're finishing up step number 2, and that was creating a budget. And I was just telling everybody how I like to create budgets, because I actually majored in accounting. So I like to actually create budgets. But you're going to want that in place, and because you want to determine how your pricing is impacted by introducing client gifts into your services. So this will help you know how, figure out how you're going to pay for these gifts. And so now you may be tempted to skip this step because you don't like creating budgets. I know. And you think you'll just do it on the fly, but please don't. Please don't skip this step. Your budget will guide you in creating gifts that makes the most sense, rather than, creating gifts that are totally based on your emotions. When we tend to go off of our emotions, we might pick up things that are outside of the budget or outside of what we really want to pay for it. And you'll feel that in your pockets. It will reduce your net income from your service, and we don't want to do that, right? So you want to have a budget in place so that you have a guide there to keep you from just going strictly off of your emotions. Now, the third step to determine the third step to prepare for client gifting is to determine how you're going to execute. You want to determine how you're going to execute on gifting. So the execution step is one that you're going to do over and over again. This is the one that you're going to repeat over and over again. And so you want to have a plan for how you will get the gifts done, how you will get it done consistently and the most efficient way possible, because you don't want it to take up a lot of your time from the service that you're already, giving your client. right? So you want it to be consistent, and you want it to be the most efficient way possible. So you'll want to think through who will execute the four components of gifting in your business. Now, it may be you, it may be an assistant, it may be somebody you bring in just to help you from time to time. Whatever that is, you'll need to think through it. Now, if you don't know what the four components of gifting is, then I will put the video card up above my head here, so that you can watch that video where I explain what the four components are. But you get to decide if the gifting is done in-house by you or by someone that you bring in, or if you will want to get an outside source to do the gifting for you, right? But that's something that you get to decide. And doing this, it'll help you confirm that gifting is being done in a way that best represents your brand, right? You want to make sure that it's done in a way that best represents your brand. You don't want it to be lagging in any way. Like I said at the beginning, you want it to be consistent yet efficient. So if, you know, you don't want to start presenting gifts that is not like the brand that you have built, right? You want to make sure it is still representative of the brand that you have worked so hard to build. So it is very important that you know how you're going to execute this, and you just prepare for it, and not just jump in. And like I always say, and fly by the seat of your pants. So those were the 3 steps, and that was setting a foundation, where you make some good foundational decisions to get yourself up and running. And then you're going to create a budget, and then you're going to determine how you're going to execute. Those are the 3 steps. Can I share the components of gifting? Yes, there are 4 of them. Thank you for asking that. That is a good question. I'm also going to link the video, but the 4 components of gifting is the 4 components is creating the strategy, or designing the gift. So you will design the gift first. You will source the items for the gift. You will assemble the gift, and you will deliver the gift. So those are the 4 components. And that's what you're going to repeat over and over and over. You're going to design your gift. Well, most likely, once you have your design, if you're doing a gift that is one that you're going to give over and over again, is not going to be customized in any way to your clients. Once you have the design, you won't necessarily have to repeat that, but you're going to repeat the sourcing, the assembly, and the delivery. But either way, you have to have that design in place, because if you're going to bring somebody in, they need to know what they're creating. And so in that video, I talk about how you go about designing the gift. You can create a Pinterest board. Sometimes it's really helpful to have a visual in place, so that, as you are rushing in to create that gift, it's supposed to go in it, right? And if you have different gifts at different points in your client journey with you, then you want to know which gift you're giving. So yes, those are the 4 components of gifting. And like I said, I will link that video to this one, so that you can go back and watch it if you so choose. Yes, thank you, Raquel. I am glad it is helpful. And yeah, so I'll link it so you can go check it out, where I go into more detail about each step. But yeah, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. If you're over on Instagram, then definitely follow the page and like the video, and share. Please share so that people can get this information. I want people to be prepared for their client gifting, and like I said, not fly by the seat of their pants. There are, there are people who are really good at throwing things together, and it turns out really well. It turns out really good and they have great feedback. But if you're that type of person who likes to plan, who likes to put some type of system in place, then um, you definitely want to go through and follow these steps. So, but that is all that I have for you all today. If there are no other questions, um, if you have questions, if you're watching the replay and you do have questions, feel free to put them in the comments, and I will respond to you. But that is all that I have for you today. So until next time, happy gifting and many blessings.